Hi folks, we're going to take a look at 9F from page 184. So they're asking us to solve this rational equation, and I'm going to do so by using the technique of clearing out all the denominators. So that means I need to multiply left and right by the lowest common denominator in these three fractions. All right, since there's no common factors, the lowest common denominator is just going to be the product of the three. Okay, so in other words, I'm going to multiply both sides by x minus 2, x minus 1, and x plus 1. Okay, and do the same thing to the other side. Okay, I wouldn't necessarily write this since we're just going to be writing by multiplying by 0, but I just want to make sure we're clear that I'm multiplying both sides of the equation by this product. All right, so now I just have to distribute that to each term. So here when I multiply these three expressions by 7 over x minus 2, well, the x minus 2 cancels out with the 1 in the numerator, so I'm just left with 7 times x minus 1, x plus 1. Okay, and similarly here, it's going to be the x minus 1 that's going to cancel out with that x minus 1 in the numerator there, so I'm going to end up with minus 4 times x minus 2 times x plus 1. And lastly, in this multiplication, this x plus 1 will cancel out with that x plus 1. So plus 3 times x minus 2, x minus 1. And of course, on the other side of the equation, I'm just going to end up with 0. So now I've managed to turn this rational equation into solving a polynomial equation. I just got to keep in mind that, of course, x can't be equal to 2, 1, negative 1. So in case these show up as solutions, I would need to eliminate them. All right, so let's now solve this. First thing I got to do is just multiply everything out. So 7 times, so this is just going to be x squared minus 1, the difference of squares. Here we've got x squared minus x minus 2. And here we've got x squared minus 3x plus 2. All right, so let's keep going. 7x squared minus 7 minus 4x squared plus 4x plus 8 plus 3x squared minus 9x, and then plus 6. All right, so now we finally at the place where we can simplify all of this. So here I've got 7x squared minus 4x squared is 3 plus 3, so 6x squared. Here we've got 4x minus 9x, so minus 5x. And finally we have negative 7 plus 8, which is 1, plus 6 is 7. All right, and so now we've reduced this to a quadratic equation. Now, I don't really think I'm going to get anything that's going to factor here, because even if I break this up into 2 and 3, 2 times 7 is 14. There's no way I'm going to get to negative 5. Okay, so I'm going to go to the quadratic formula. I always give it, when the numbers are small, I always give it a quick try, but if not, we can just go to the quadratic formula. So here, negative b, so 5 plus or minus square root of, so that's going to be negative 5 squared is 25, minus 4 times 6 times 7, okay, and I don't really need to go any further because I can see that this is clearly going to be negative. So after all that work, it turns out that there are no values of x that satisfy this equation. Okay, so here we have no solution. Okay, certainly a possibility. So just to recap, the method that I'm using is to start off by clearing the denominators right off the bat. So in other words, turning this rational equation into solving a polynomial equation. You could have had the option of subtracting and adding these three terms using a common denominator, and then from there multiplying the denominator to the other side. This is just a little more efficient, but either would have worked. All right, so once you get that polynomial equation, you just solve it as you normally would. In this case here, it turns out that there happen to be no solutions. Okay, that's it for this one.